Welcome to Pete's Corner, where we take a look at a different corner of Stillwater every week. I'm your host, Jonathan Cotton. This week we're doing something a little different. Instead of looking at a specific part of Stillwater, we're going to see what the city itself has to offer. When you think of Stillwater, most people think of Oklahoma State University. In fact, the college is the reason most people visit Stillwater. When searching for colleges, most people choose to stay close to home, while others venture far away from home, and some only leave home for a short amount of time. Our very own Maddie Cunningham has more.
I'd had enough with living in the same town and dealing with the same people that in my mind, I wasn't going to come back.
While many OSU students are from out of state or surrounding Oklahoma cities, some have grown up in Stillwater for most of their lives, such as Brittany Lee, or as her friends call her, Boots. But they don't always stay forever.
And it took me a long time to kind of come out of my shell, but if I had lived anywhere else, I wouldn't be the same person.
Before Brittany moved to Stillwater, she floated around like most teenagers do before finding that one career that piques their interest forever. And it was in Stillwater that she found what she loved most.
One of the scariest moments of my life, because I had to move to Santa Maria, California for 3.5 months, which is the longest I've ever been away from home and the farthest I've ever been away from home. And so it was very nerve-wracking and scary.
Brittany works in the scenic workshop with the OSU Theater as part of her major. So when she was offered the chance to work with the notable Pacific Conservatory of the Performing Arts last summer, she jumped at the chance. So much so that she didn't think she'd come back.
That was really difficult to be gone that long, and it was that stroke of independence that I wasn't quite ready for. And it was one of the most difficult things I've ever done. And I'm really proud that I did it, but it was definitely difficult.
And while she says she learned more than she could have ever imagined, she's glad to be back home in Stillwater. Because you can take the boots off the girl, but you can't take the Oklahoma out of her spirit. For Pete's Corner, I'm Maddie Cunningham.
Thanks, Maddie. For students like Lee, the first they see OSU is on a campus tour. Geraldine Blaine explains how for some students, Stillwater has always been home.
Students travel far and wide to attend Oklahoma State University, but some students travel just down the block. Kristen Zacharias is a sophomore at OSU, and she grew up a mere 4 miles from campus. Kristen is just one of many students who were raised in the same town they went to college in. For her, the transition from high school to college was subtle.
I don't think anything has changed like a lot, but when I'm on campus, I don't feel like I'm in my hometown. I just feel like I'm going to school.
Kristen decided to live on campus her freshman year to help transition into college.
I lived in Stout because I wanted to get out of the house and have the same college experience that everyone else was having, and I wanted to grow up on my own.
Allie Haga has also lived in Stillwater her whole life, but she decided to live at home her freshman year.
Living at home my freshman year was kind of difficult because it was a little bit harder to make good friends that way, just because I didn't live on campus with them and I couldn't just stay out with them really late or as late as I wanted or go over to the rooms at whatever time I wanted. I had to drive to campus, find parking, and it just took me more time to do things instead of just being able to run over to the room and just get to know them and spend that amount of time with them.
But do the advantages of having your college campus so close to home outweigh the disadvantages? You might accidentally run into your parents on the strip, but you can go home whenever you want.
An advantage to having my family close is I can take friends over to my family's house and make them feel involved in a family.
After spending so many years in Stillwater, you might think it'd be time for a change.
I have to go to graduate school, so I will definitely go somewhere else. Right now I like being in Stillwater, but I feel like in 3 years I'll need to get out of here.
I am not ready to get out of Stillwater after graduation because I still love it here and I love the community that's here, and I do enjoy traveling and I enjoy seeing other places, but I don't know if anywhere else could ever be as much of a home to me as Stillwater is.
So whether you've lived in Stillwater since freshman year of college or since you were brought home from the hospital, it's a place where people from all over are coming to get their education. For Pete's Corner, I'm Geraldine Blaine.
Thanks, Geraldine. Speaking of education, the OSU campus was built in Stillwater in 1890. So it's safe to say that the ties between the university and the city go back a long time. But the connection might surprise you. Our own Brandon Crosno went digging into the past for more.
If you've ever taken a stroll across campus, there's no doubt you're familiar with Old Central. The building is actually one of the oldest buildings in the state. One of two left from Oklahoma's territorial period. What many students might not know, however, is that the building is a testament to Stillwater's devotion to OSU. After all, the citizens are the ones who paid for it.
Initially, Old Central, the construction was supported by the citizens of Stillwater creating bonds. They sold bonds to build the facility. That was one of the part of the arrangements for bringing the college here.
In the early years, Old Central was known as the Assembly Building. It was equipped with classrooms, laboratories, a library, and even the president's office. But as time wore on, Old Central became dated and a structural nightmare. During President Henry Bennett's administration, it was proposed that the building be torn down altogether to make way for newer, more advanced structures.
The challenge, of course, was all the students from the very beginning of this institution who had come through recognized Old Central. I mean, that was something they all had in common, was the Old Central building.
Old Central remained and housed different organizations as the years passed. The Ocalee and music departments were both in Old Central for a time, and the building was even leased to the Oklahoma Historical Society for a museum until the Honors College moved in a few years ago. Stillwater businesses benefit greatly from the loyal patronage of OSU students and look forward to an added bonus around game days. And the university wouldn't be where it is today if it hadn't been for those first Stillwater residents who sold and even purchased bonds to help construct this historic building.
Old Central at least had been stable enough through the years, and they did some work at various times in the 70s and before to at least stabilize the foundation. But then this last one, I think, fixed the problem. And I hope it will be the home for the Honors College for a number of years to come.
No matter what lies ahead for OSU, one thing is certain. Stillwater will always be the home of the OSU Cowboys. For Pete's Corner, I'm Brandon Crosno.
Pete's Corner will be right back after this break. One of the unique aspects of Stillwater is the friendly and compassionate atmosphere that brings most students to OSU. That atmosphere can be seen through the residents and the businesses they own. One local business raises money for charity in a unique way. Reporter Abria Hilliard has more.
Finding a parking spot on game days can be a nightmare. If you're a student, you're advised to park in one of the campus's residential hall lots. If you aren't a student, parking can be a bit trickier. You might have to pay for parking. If you do, ever wonder where that money goes? At Eskimo Joe's, some of that money goes to charity.
It's great to be able to leverage our brand and our people to help another community agency. Sometimes we refer to it as sharing the big grin for the greater good, because Eskimo Joe's has that big old smile. But we like to be involved and to participate and help the things that are going on in Stillwater.
Some customers may not be aware that Eskimo Joe's donates to charity in this way.
That's really cool that actually goes to something higher up.
Moreland says putting the parking money toward charity started a few years ago. This football season, Eskimo Joe's is donating to Harvest 2. Harvest 2 is a local food drive that collects donated items and distributes them among local agencies. Last year, over 48,000 pounds of food got delivered to 9 of those agencies, 2 of which are the Salvation Army and Operation Christmas. Moreland says she loves working for a company that helps the community.
It's nice to work for a company that is able to do some things that give back. I mean, we love being here in Stillwater.
Eskimo Joe's also helps the community in other ways.
We worked with the Stillwater Humane Society, and so people on that board, or actually some of our own employees, gave us pictures of their cat or dog, and those are the ones that are depicted here on the back of the Humane Society shirt. So a lot of fun and a little personal story that a lot of folks may not know.
Eskimo Joe's also has t-shirts that help contribute to the breast cancer awareness movement. The proceeds from those t-shirts goes to Turn Tulsa Pink. So the next time you're looking for a parking spot, you may want to choose Eskimo Joe's. Your money goes toward a good cause. For Pete's Corner, I'm Abria Hilliard.
So far we've mentioned how Oklahoma State is such a big part of Stillwater, but it's not the only thing Stillwater is known for. It's associated with a style of music unlike any other. Red dirt music is a genre named after the color of Oklahoma soil. Our own Kydell Billy has more on how red dirt is such a big part of Stillwater.
With a mix of folk, rock, country, bluegrass, western swing, blues, and honky-tonk, red dirt can be called a potluck of sound, and that potluck of sound has a loyal fan following in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
They're the people that fall in love with it, and they're some of the most greatest, awesome fans in the world.
Red dirt musicians Eli Howard and Chris Mullen say that red dirt is a style of music that is true and comes from the heart, and that's why fans fall in love with the sound.
It is more personal than most music. It is more, I'd say, more heartfelt than most genres of music. And you know, we're people just like everybody else in the community. We have jobs, we work hard, but we come out and play our music, and people can put a face to that. And you know, because we're not on the TV every day, and we're not big celebrities.
Legendary singer-songwriter Bob Childers once said, "I found something in Stillwater that I didn't find anywhere else, and I looked everywhere from Nashville to Austin. I always came back to Stillwater."
But what makes red dirt music so important to Stillwater? It was born here.
Red dirt music originated at a two-story house on the outskirts of Stillwater called The Farm. Childers and several other musicians occupied the house. Acts that now perform across the country, such as Cody Canada and The Departed, the Chance Anderson Band, and Stoney LaRue, actually started out showing the town of Stillwater why they love to play red dirt music.
You have people like Garth Brooks played on the Strip, Ragweed, Boland, Stoney, they all started playing around here on the Strip, playing at the Wormy Dog, playing at Willie's.
Now it's musicians like Chad Solon's turn to show their fans why they love to play red dirt music.
Because it's awesome. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it.
With O State TV, I'm Kydell Billy.
Thanks, Kydell. Tune in next week as we look what OSU's Edmond Lowe Library has to offer. For Pete's Corner, I'm Jonathan Cotton.